Our president is very busy prosecuting his enemies. His goon squad today indicted his own former national security advisor, John Bolton. He is just brazenly lying about the economy and grocery prices. But he did have a chat with Vlad Putin today, which we know because...
I mean, he's an invasive species.
For California.
For the country. For the world. He's a wrecking ball, not just the symbolism and substance of the East Wing. He's wrecking alliances, truth, trust, tradition, institution.
Trump thought he could waltz into 2025 unbothered, adorable. Meanwhile, Jimmy Kimmel is sharpening jokes like a culinary ninja on espresso, and Gavin Newsom's head is spinning like it's on a treadmill. Chaos simmers, egos are deflating, and Trump's still pretending this is all part of some grand strategy. Don't look away. What's about to unfold isn't politics as usual. It's a full-blown meltdown extravaganza, and missing a second would be a crime against entertainment.
Which we know because while he was on the phone with Putin, he posted, "I am speaking to President Putin now." The conversation is ongoing, a lengthy one, and I will report the contents, as will President Putin at its conclusion. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Never mind our attention to this matter. How about you paying attention to this matter? Why are you posting about a phone call?
It is about the United States of America. He doesn't believe in that. He believes in the red states. He's going after. It's a war. He's a wartime president. He's the head of a war party. War on women. War on voting rights. War on Hispanics. A war on this state.
So here we go. Trump, still the eyebrow-raising, headline-grabbing spectacle we can't escape, has returned to the spotlight. Just when it seemed the circus had packed up, Jimmy Kimmel and Gavin Newsom crashed the party, each unleashing their own brand of chaos, wit, and hilarity, turning the stage into a wild, unpredictable showdown.
Once in a while, when he needs a good laugh, Putin schedules a phone call with Trump. And Putin is Bart Simpson and Trump is his Mo. Trump announced that he is going to meet with Putin in Budapest at a date to be determined because only he can end a war.
I don't think any president's ever ended a war, frankly. One war, I did 8 of them, Maria, right? And, but I don't know, did Bush ever end? Do you think Biden ended a war? Biden started wars because he was stupid. But do you think Biden ended any wars? No. I don't know of anybody that ended wars. I ended 8 of them.
No president, nobody has ever ended a war other than him. All the other wars ended mysteriously by themselves. But he ended 8 of them.
The result is a full-blown roast, like fireworks exploding in a hurricane, with Trump caught in the middle, flailing, unsure if he's starring in a comedy sketch or weathering a political earthquake of his own making.
History. I mean, this is serious. This guy's trying to get a Nobel Peace Prize. That's what he's going to try to say tomorrow in Alaska, that he's the big guy trying to find peace, really? When he's bringing war to the American people? He put military in the streets, not of Baghdad. And he didn't send the military in his first administration anywhere in the world. He sent the United States Marines into the United States of America in one of the bluest cities in this country, in Los Angeles, one of the great cities, American cities. That's what Donald Trump did. He is a wartime president.
Jimmy Kimmel went first, because who better to amplify absurdity than a man who thrives on it? He didn't hold back. Watching him was like seeing a chainsaw rip through a tower of glittering fake gold bricks, each one representing a delusion Trump had been stockpiling in his imaginary vault.
Tomorrow, Trump gets a visit from Zelensky at the White House. They're going to see if they can figure out this thing with Bad Bunny, and then after that, we'll work on Ukraine. And most importantly, he still has his eye on the ballroom. Trump really wants a ballroom in the White House. Said the reason we don't have one already is because we've never had a real estate person as president, but now we have Blob Vila running the show, and we're going to have one. Last night, Trump hosted a fundraising dinner for his big, beautiful $200 million wedding venue. The fact that the government is shut down because Republicans don't want to spend money on health care makes no difference to him, I guess. All the top people from Google, Apple, Amazon, you name it, lined up to eat beef stroganoff and kiss his ass, just as our...
The target wasn't just Trump's policies or his endless parade of tweets, though those alone could fuel a Netflix series. Jimmy aimed at the whole persona. The hair, the gestures, the way he announces himself like a superhero audition gone wrong, with the villain hijacking the script. Every segment was controlled chaos, a perfect blend of truth and humor that made you wince and laugh at once. Jimmy didn't merely point and mock, he dissected, layer by layer, exposing absurdities like peeling an onion of dollar bills and ego. You could practically see Trump's thought bubbles flaring with confusion, as his stable genius moments became pure comedy. Every joke was a tactical strike, leaving him flailing in a storm of irony while the audience cheered mercilessly.
If some of us could be snatched off the streets without a warrant, based only on suspicion or skin color, then none of us are safe. Authoritarian regimes begin by targeting people who are least able to defend themselves, but they do not stop there. This brazen abuse of power by a sitting president inflamed a combustible situation, putting our people, our officers, and even our National Guard at risk. Take time, reflect on this perilous moment. A president who wants to be bound by no law or constitution.
Just when the internet thought it had recovered, Gavin Newsom stepped in, armed with razor-sharp political insight and a disdain that demanded attention. Subtlety was never his plan. He approached Trump like a technician diagnosing a malfunctioning robot, one illogical move at a time. Watching someone who understands systems and consequences systematically dismantle a reality-bending ego was oddly satisfying. Newsom's precision struck like a surgeon on a blow-up doll pretending to be human, painful, hilarious, and mesmerizing. Layer by layer, hypocrisy, inconsistency, and spectacle were stripped away, leaving Trump in an existential heap. Meanwhile, Kimmel wielded comedy like a flamethrower, Newsom a scalpel of scrutiny. Both attacks converged differently but ended identically. Chaos. Trump became a cautionary tale and punchline all at once, flopping helplessly in his own absurdity.
To the Daily Beast, Donald Trump's inner circle is becoming increasingly fearful of the impact what he sees on Fox News is having on his decision-making. Trump officials became concerned when Trump asked if he could get a reverse mortgage on the White House in one of those Terry Bradshaw walk-in tubs. A few weeks ago, there were reports that the reason Trump wanted to send the National Guard into Portland is because he saw Fox footage of unrest from 2020, and he thought it was happening in real time. And he still might think that's happening in real time.
Symmetry was impossible to ignore. Humor and intellect collided to craft a flawless storm of humiliation. Kimmel thrived on exaggeration, absurdity, and spectacle, spotlighting Trump's over-the-top gestures, fantasy-like proclamations, and uncanny ability to turn anything into a self-serving narrative. Each absurdity was dissected with surgical precision, stretched just enough to elicit uncontrollable laughter while preserving the truth beneath. It was like walking a tightrope made of spaghetti over molten lava, and Kimmel nailed it. The world watched as bravado became comedic gold, proving satire's power to expose ridiculousness. Meanwhile, Newsom operated in contrast, precise, analytical, relentless. He unraveled narratives, exposing contradictions, broken promises, and bubblegum logic. Every move highlighted the absurdity of a man who thrives on theatrics but falters under real scrutiny.
This from day one. He's weakness masquerading as strength. He's increasingly acting deranged, unhinged. I mean, you saw that 39-minute curious exovate of just narcissism at another level, where people had to sort of stare at dear leader as he was dancing or zoning out. I mean, this is a profound and remarkable moment, and I think he's not meeting that moment. I think he's increasingly concerned about his own candidacy himself, and he's going back to these safe places. I think it was a seventh or eighth grader that called me new scum. Now it's a 78-year-old. Maybe you could describe.
Newsom's method stunned, leaving jaws dropping in disbelief before curling into reluctant smiles. Rarely does authority land with such precision amid a world of bluster and noise. The unplanned synergy between Kimmel's chaotic comedy and Newsom's razor-sharp scrutiny was poetry in motion. Trump predictably struggled, confused, defensive, and wildly performative, supplying endless fodder for his mockers. Absurdity fed itself, a loop of chaos and entertainment. But this wasn't just spectacle, it was context. Kimmel reminded the audience why figures like Trump fascinate yet caution, while Newsom highlighted why accountability matters, even for the seemingly untouchable. Trump's reactions, or lack thereof, added layers of comedy and revelation. Watching him navigate exposure, critique, and ridicule all at once was both mesmerizing and quietly instructive.
He said that when the governor of Oregon informed them there was no security threat in her state, he said, well, wait a minute, am I watching things on television that are different from what's happening? Yes, dum-dum, you are. You're on a 5-year delay from the rest of us. But, I mean, it's no joke. And Trump's inner circle knows just how dangerous the incessant misinformation from Fox News can be because they all worked there 10 months ago. It is frightening to know that the President of the United States is being briefed on world events by the same source as everyone at the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport Chili's to go.
Every tweet, every statement, every flailing attempt to reclaim control only fueled the absurdity. It was like watching someone try to douse a wildfire with a garden hose while the flames were fed by their own missteps. The spectacle was as much in the reactions as the attacks themselves. Audiences were ecstatic. Clips of Kimmel's sharpest jabs went viral, while Newsom's precise critiques circulated widely, dissected and celebrated. Memes proliferated, capturing chaos, comedy, and carnage with ruthless clarity. Trump had inadvertently become a masterclass in spectacle versus substance, a living lesson in absurdity colliding with reality. Kimmel's humor bit with precision, never recycled, while Newsom's scrutiny exposed inconsistencies so cleanly that even casual observers reconsidered what they knew about Trump.
Why the President of the United States did something unprecedented. And he picked up the phone and he called the governor of Texas and he says, I need 5 seats. And this is unprecedented. Never has the President of the United States ever made a call and told a sitting governor that you need to redistrict to get me 5 seats because I'm quote unquote entitled to them for exactly the reason you just said. Because he knows he's losing. He knows he's unpopular in every single key category and he's going to lose the midterm elections. So the only way that he can...
It wasn't just humiliation, it was clarity. Kimmel exposed the absurdity of Trump's behavior, stripped bare of context, while Newsom revealed how flawed decisions crumbled under scrutiny. Together, they created a perfect storm of humor, insight, and exposure, entertaining, informing, and shocking audiences simultaneously. Their synergy, uncoordinated yet undeniable, left Trump flailing as the perplexed protagonist in a story he didn't write, fueling even more comedy and critique. Social media erupted, comments, debates, memes turning jokes into cultural currency. Kimmel's humor became shorthand for ridicule. Newsom's scrutiny became a benchmark for accountability. The dual onslaught reshaped perception, making spectacle meet substance in unforgettable fashion.
Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. So, you can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent. He's an incompetent governor. Look at the job he's doing in California. He's destroying one of our great states. And if I didn't get involved, if we didn't bring the Guard in, and we would bring more in if we needed it, because we have to make sure there's going to be law and order. I think his primary crime is running for governor because he's done such a bad job.
And Trump, he remains at the center, subject, catalyst, and punchline all at once. Trapped in his own spectacle, he's helpless as 2 very different forces dominate the stage. Comedy and scrutiny collide, separate yet complementary. Kimmel unleashes chaos and laughter. Newsom delivers insight and accountability. Trump, unpredictable as ever, provides the perfect canvas for their mastery. The world watches, laughs, cringes, and gasps simultaneously as humor and analysis tear through ego and pretense. Absurdity cannot hide from sharp observation, and no persona, however inflated, can outrun ridicule. Kimmel brings the jokes, Newsom brings the clarity, and Trump unknowingly fuels it all. In the aftermath, the spectacle lingers, a lesson in the enduring power of wit and scrutiny.
About Donald Trump, though, he has a vivid imagination. He has created a dangerous organization to get the old people excited and fired up, a supervillain called
He's a stone-cold liar. I respect the presidency. I've tried to have an open hand with him, tried to work with him. You can't work with Donald Trump. You can only work for him. And I will not. I refuse to work for Donald Trump.
Refusing to work for Trump only amplified the chaos. Just when the spectacle seemed to peak, the ripple effects hit like a hurricane-fueled Twitter feud. Memes spread like wildfire, each capturing Trump's bewilderment alongside the artistry of Kimmel and Newsom's separate attacks. Every clip, gif, and reaction became its own ecosystem, turning Trump into a living canvas for comedy and critique. Meanwhile, he oscillated between indignation and confusion, like navigating a funhouse with shifting mirrors. Jimmy reinforced why comedy is a weapon. Newsom showed that accountability still matters. Trump remained trapped at the center, fueling endless content in a perfect collision of humor, spectacle, and truth.